You continuously put out music like that, stuff starts sounding redundant. You need a second. You put out a record like 5 minutes ago and they be like, that throwback was hot. Throwback, old school, I just put it out 5 minutes ago.
Missy Elliott changed music forever, but behind her success are secrets fans were too scared to believe. From a painful childhood to shocking industry battles, Missy has seen it all. Today, we're diving deep into her untold struggles, fierce loyalty, and unstoppable power. Get ready, you won't believe this.
Great thing about this tour is I'm not the headliner. God is the headliner. He has went through every venue and already blessed it.
Missy Elliott is not just a rapper. She is a game changer who flipped the whole music world upside down. When she dropped her first album, Supa Dupa Fly, back in 1997, people had no idea what hit them. Her wild beats, crazy music videos, and fearless style made everyone stop and pay attention. She kicked the doors open for women in hip-hop and never looked back. Today, she stands proud as the first female rapper in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Big deal? Absolutely.
You can't help but speculate that what she had been through in her own life gave her this determination and this ambition.
But let us be real. Behind all that glitter and glory, Missy's story is packed with pain, battles, and some straight-up drama. We are talking about childhood trauma that would break most people, health struggles that almost ended her career, messy fights over stolen songs, and shady music deals.
She'd get on the bed. She was about 3 years old. She'd stand on the bed, and she'd sing, and she'd sing, and she'd sing.
Missy Elliott didn't just have a tough childhood. She survived one that would have broken most people. Born in Portsmouth, Virginia in 1971, she grew up in a house so poor it didn't even have running water. Imagine that. No showers, no flushing toilets, just buckets and struggle. But that was just the start. When she was only 8, her older cousins her. Each day, he wanted me to come to the house after school, she explained. Became sexual, which for me at 8 years old, I had no clue what that was, but I knew something was wrong. Being molested. It don't disappear, she added. You remember it as if it was yesterday. And if that wasn't enough, she also watched domestic violence tear through her family. Most kids would have shut down, but not Missy. She turned her pain into something powerful, music.
So when I did it, I ended up in the emergency room.
Why?
Well, my anxiety kicked in because it was a secret. And then the day before, it started being little whispers like, I think Missy's coming out on Katy Perry set, and I started freaking out.
By her teens, she was writing raps like her life depended on it, because in a way, it did. Music was her escape, her therapy, her weapon. She teamed up with her best friend, Timbaland, and they cooked up a sound nobody had ever heard before. Fast forward a few years, and she's dropping hits like Get or Freak On, wearing inflatable trash bags in music videos, and changing hip-hop forever. Missy didn't just overcome her past, she used it as fuel. She's talked openly about her trauma, proving that even the roughest start doesn't have to define you. And honestly, that's way more impressive than any Grammy.
In her spirit, once again, you can sense a person don't have to say much. You can walk in a room and sense when somebody just giving off bad energy, and just her spirit alone, like she could walk in a room and brighten this whole room up.
Missy Elliott and Aaliyah's friendship was the rare, real deal in Hollywood. They weren't just co-workers, they were family. When they first linked up in the 90s, Missy was the genius songwriter behind Aaliyah's hits like One in a Million. But their bond went way deeper than music. They had that unbreakable sisterhood where they could be 100% themselves. No celebrity fronts, no pretending.
I think that was something that was different at that time, and so it made people be like, yo, who is this chick? Everybody else is doing this and she's doing that. And so she set, boundaries and groundbreaking things that she did as far as her look, as far as her music.
When Aaliyah died in 2001, it wrecked Missy. But here's what separates real ones from fake ones. Missy never let her sister's memory fade. For over 20 years, she's kept Aaliyah alive through social media tributes every birthday and anniversary. Not just the glossy magazine pics either. Missy shares the real raw moments that show who Aaliyah truly was. While the music industry moves on quick, Missy stays fighting for Aaliyah's legacy. She's the one pushing to preserve Aaliyah's music, hinting at unreleased tracks, making sure new generations discover her. That's true loyalty. Most friendships in entertainment disappear faster than a one-hit wonder, but Missy proves real love doesn't have an expiration. Aaliyah may be gone, but in Missy's heart, she's still right there in the studio, laughing at some inside joke only they understood.
I was scared. Anybody that has Graves' disease, like, you feel like you finna be out of here. And you know, for me, when you say you got to take a radiation pill, you think you really finna be out of here. Like, you know, what do I really have? And then you got to go through seeing, you know, my eyes changing, your hair fall out, your skin change, everything.
Let's get one thing straight. Missy Elliott doesn't lose. Not in music, not in life, and definitely not against some punk autoimmune disease. When Graves' disease came knocking in 2008, it brought the whole gang. Hair falling out, eyes bulging like she'd seen a ghost, blood pressure through the roof. The same woman who invented futuristic rap was suddenly stuck battling her own body. This wasn't some minor cold, we're talking full-on war. The disease straight up kidnapped her thyroid, leaving her exhausted 24/7. Doctors became her new collaborators. Medicine replaced studio time. Most artists would have called it quits right there, but Missy, she treated this like one of her hit songs. She just needed to rewrite the ending. For years, she disappeared from the spotlight. Fans wondered if they'd ever see her again. Then in 2015, boom, she exploded back onto the scene like nothing happened. Super Bowl halftime show? Check. New bangers? Check. Looking healthier than ever? Double check.
For me, that was traumatic. You know, I remember doing in the studio with Monica doing Everything to Me, that record, and I couldn't even write the words down because your nervous system breaks down, so you shake so bad. And she was like, you know, look, miss, I got it. Let me write it for you. And she was there for me during that time. I so appreciate Monica. But yeah, that was a difficult time.
Yeah.
She didn't just beat Graves' disease, she used it as fuel. Now she drops health advice between fire verses, proving even your immune system can't stop a legend. Most people take sick days. Missy took a few years and came back ready to conquer the universe. That's not recovery, that's a full-blown resurrection. In 2022, Missy Elliott tweeted a simple question: what's the difference between a hit song and a classic? But the internet exploded. Nicki Minaj's fans thought it was a secret dig at Nicki's music. Suddenly, everyone was talking about a feud that didn't exist. Missy quickly cleared things up. She said she wasn't talking about any artist in particular. I respect all musicians, she explained. The queen of hip-hop wasn't about to start drama over a tweet. This whole mess showed how fans sometimes create drama where there isn't any. One innocent question became a big controversy. People online love to imagine fights between celebrities, but Missy stayed calm. She's been in music for decades. She doesn't need attention from fake beef. While fans argued, Missy kept working on her music. At the end of the day, there was no real conflict, just fans overreacting to a normal question about music. Missy proved again why she's a legend. She focuses on her craft, not internet rumors. The lesson: not every tweet is a diss. Sometimes artists just want to talk about music, and Missy Elliott, she's always been above the drama. Let's set the scene. It is 2020. Bad Bunny drops Safira and the internet goes wild. The beat drops and everyone is like, hold up, is that Missy's Get Her Freak on? And guess what? It was. But here is the messy part. Nobody asked Missy Elliott if they could use it. Yeah, big mistake, huge. Missy's legal team moved faster than she did in her 2001 music videos. The fair started vanishing from streaming platforms like it got hit by a magic trick. Imagine Bad Bunny watching one of his biggest songs just disappear because he forgot to respect a legend. That must have stung. But Missy is not petty, she is smart. Instead of killing the song forever, she made a deal. Now every time someone plays Safari, Missy gets a fat royalty check. That is how a real boss moves. Thoroughly, this whole mess taught everyone a lesson. 1, Missy's music is sacred. 2, you better respect the icons if you want your career to last. The best part? After the dust settled, Safari came back and It Still Goes Crazy Hard, Missy got paid, Bad Bunny kept his hit, and the world kept dancing. Looks like Missy Elliott's past is coming back to knock on her door. Producer Terry Williams is not letting it slide. He says he helped write some of Missy's songs back in the early 90s and never got the credit he deserved. According to Williams, between 1993 and 1996, he worked with Missy on a bunch of tracks. Some of those songs even made it onto the 1994 album 4, All the Sistas Around the World by her old R&B group called Sista. Missy's side tells a whole different story. They say she did not even meet Terry Williams until after those songs were done. But Williams is standing his ground. He says his work was used without asking and without paying. Now the case is heading to trial because a federal judge said there is enough drama here for a jury to sort out. But not everything Williams claimed made the cut. He also tried to say he helped write Aaliyah's song Heartbroken in 1996. The judge shut that down because Williams waited way too long to bring it up. Now, all eyes are on the courtroom. If this goes sideways, it could open up some major conversations about how messy the music business can really get. In October 2023, Timbaland made a pretty wild statement at the Kennedy Center. He suggested that Justin Timberlake should have put a muzzle on Britney Spears after the release of her memoir, The Woman in Me. Yeah, you heard that right. A muzzle. If that wasn't enough to raise eyebrows, it certainly rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Fans and critics were quick to call him out for being disrespectful and downright dismissive of Britney's personal journey. Now, this is where Missy Elliott comes in. Missy and Timbaland go way back. They've worked together for years, creating some of the most iconic tracks in music. But when she heard what Timbaland said, she wasn't having it. Missy did what only a true friend would do. She called him out. She told him it was time to check his words, especially when it came to women who have already gone through so much. And just like that, Timbaland listened. He didn't double down or try to justify himself. Instead, he took to social media to apologize. On a TikTok live stream, he admitted, "I'm sorry to all the Britney fans, even to her, I'm sorry." Because muzzle was, no, you have a voice. You speak what you want to speak. Who am I to tell you what not to speak? And I was wrong for saying that. People were quick to praise Missy for stepping in. She didn't just stay quiet or let it slide. She used her platform to make sure women's voices were heard and respected. This wasn't just about one comment. It was about creating a culture where people, especially women, aren't silenced. Missy proved once again that she's not just a music legend, but someone who will stand up for what's right. She may have helped Timbaland realize his mistake, but more importantly, she showed everyone how powerful it is when we speak out for others. In the end, Timbaland apologized, but it was Missy's intervention that made it all happen. And that's how you handle business with heart and respect. If you enjoy diving into Missy Elliott's journey and the drama around her, don't forget to like and share. Her story is one of strength, resilience, and undeniable talent. Hit that subscribe button for more and stay tuned for more behind-the-scenes stories that are too good to miss.